Alright, what's going on guys? Nick Updike here, the Holistic Trader, and today I have a pretty cool video for you guys. I'm going to be showing you how I made about $1,350 trading NVIDIA and Apple today. It's going to be a nice short and sweet video, going to go over the setups, what I was looking for in both of these names, and why I entered, where I took profit, where I stopped out, all of that good stuff. So let's go ahead and start off with NVIDIA. As you can see, I have the 2-minute chart right here, and then I have the 5-minute chart over here for both the NASDAQ, the Qs, and NVIDIA. So starting with NVIDIA, one of the main reasons I was looking at longs for NVIDIA is because the Senate votes on the CHIP Act tomorrow, and what that would do is it's going to provide $52 billion in support for domestic semiconductor production. Okay, so that's a really big deal. It hasn't passed yet, but the news is bullish. And in conjunction with that, Nancy Pelosi, the GOAT, she's been accumulating a lot of NVIDIA. So it makes you kind of think, maybe she knows something that we don't know. All right, so I was bullish on NVIDIA before it even gapped up. But then we got a 2.5% gap up above our 161.24 level. So it made me even more interested in this name for longs. Now, in a perfect world, I would have liked to see a failure to go lower setup off of this level. We didn't quite get that, but we did get a nice pullback right here at open, and then we got a bullish hammer candle, on the first 2-minute candle. So it tried to push down, buyer stepped in and pushed it back up. So what I was looking for was a break above the open, which was at about 163.08. As soon as we broke that opening level, I entered half size, and then I entered the other half of my size as soon as we broke the high of the day around 163.60 right here. Okay, so after that, I did not scale out of any contracts on this candle, but at the same time, if you look at the Qs over here, we were very choppy, right? There was a lot of uncertainty. We pushed up to this 295.50 level right here. We rejected, we came down, retested demand, came back up, and it was very, very choppy. Okay, it wasn't really until we got this big bounce right here and we pushed past 295.50 that NVIDIA really started to rip. So at this point right here, I did start scaling out some contracts at around 166 at this level right here. And then I took off another 3/4 of my size up here around 167. And I did leave about 10-15% of my position to run. And I told myself if we break back below this support, this resistance support flip, I will close out the rest of my position, which we did right here. So I ended up closing out the rest of my position here for about a 30% gain. And at that point, I was all cash. Okay, so I was waiting to see what was happening. The Qs rejected pretty hard from 296, which was a supply zone I had written out. And it pulled all the way back to this demand zone. And it pretty much just chopped in a range for a while. Okay, so I was all cash, just watching the market at this point. Didn't really like the price action at all. But then I started to notice that NVIDIA was forming a pennant, a bullish pennant, okay? So it pulled back and it touched right here and then it pushed back up. Once I saw it reject this level, I started drawing out this pennant, okay? So I drew out this pennant and I was waiting for a pullback to see if it would actually hold the bottom trend line of this pennant. And what we got was a higher low right here, and it bounced perfectly off this pennant. And I ended up entering about, I think only 5 contracts right here on this buy setup. So I waited for it to bounce, and then as soon as it broke the high of this candle right here, so this is my signal candle and this is my entry candle, I entered right here. And then I was able to actually ride this guy up. It broke out of the pennant, broke above the resistance, and I ended up taking profit around high of day right here, around 167. Now I could have made an extra $200-300 if I would have held, but it started to get a little bit overextended on the 5-minute, and at the same time the Qs were struggling a bit through this area. So I did take all my position off here. Yes, I kind of wish I held longer, but it is what it is. I'm very happy with the profit. Next time, I'll just leave a few runners, but I didn't take that big of a size, so I didn't have that much to hold on to. So that was NVIDIA for you right there. You can tell entries, take profits are the green circles, and then this red circle is where I stopped out of that first position for some profit. Okay, so let's go over to Apple now. All right, so moving over to Apple, you can see that it knifed like a mother fricker right here, okay? So what happened was Apple had some news come out. They're basically getting sued over Apple Pay, and they're accused of an antitrust violation, and at the same time, they released some news that they were going to be slowing hiring and spending in 2023. And I believe this pulled down the overall market, but the overall market also, after rejecting the same level twice, forming a double top, and then breaking below this demand zone, just the confluence between both, it worked out perfectly, right? Apple was weak, and the NASDAQ was weak at the same time, so naturally, Apple's going to fall even harder. Okay, so I did not take this position until after we broke 150, and then I had this hourly level at 149.37, so I actually got a pretty late entry to this. I'm not going to lie. I wish I would have entered after the break of 150, but I waited to see how it would react at this 149.37 level, so I'll draw exactly where I entered right here. So I took my first position when it broke below this level and retested it as resistance. Once I retested it, I added full size. I added about 8 contracts of the 148s. And then I did not scale out of these until right here. I scaled out of about, what did I scale of? 4? I think I scaled half position out right there. And then I scaled out the rest towards these lows right here. And then what I did was I actually added to my position on this bounce. So on this bounce right here, it came up and it rejected the 9 EMA. It got very overextended. As you can see, it was a very, very aggressive sell-off. So as soon as it bounced up to here, I actually added, but this time I added 145 puts. So I added right here, added 145 puts right there. Sorry about that. And then I decided I was probably going to swing these. The news is really bad. The market's weak. We got a really ugly daily close. But I did scale out of 2 towards the end of the day right there. Okay, so my Apple went about 70% from here to here, which was actually very good. The contracts, I'm surprised they moved so good because it already fell a good amount. So I thought, the premiums and the implied volatility was already really hiked. But I was surprised at how well they moved from here to here. Let's see how big of a drop that was. I mean, it was about a 1.5% drop, so pretty solid. And then this contract right here, these went about 40%, and that was about a 1% drop, okay? So going to be swinging 3 of these contracts into tomorrow. Did take profit on 2 of the 145s, and I sold all of the 148s. Going back to the Qs, if we compare these to Apple, so Qs broke a major support level at 292.83, and they fell all the way. Once it broke this, I was even more confident to enter Apple. I broke all the way down, and then it broke the 290.50 support, came all the way down to 289, and then it retested the 290.50 and rejected. Okay, so Qs were very, very weak, gave me extra confidence and conviction in my Apple play, and that is exactly why I took this and why I'm going to be swinging 3 of them into tomorrow. So I hope this helps, looking at why I took my entries, where I exited, where I trimmed, the setups, etc. But overall, very good day, and if you guys enjoy these, I'll continue doing some more trade reviews for you guys. But I'll see you on the next one, and peace out.